Hello, Good Tree. This is Paul, and I have some answers for some of the questions you might have regarding the creation according to the Bible. So today we are going to cover chapter 9, and the question of the day is, does radiometric dating prove the Earth is old? Now, similar to carbon dating, radiometric dating is a method that many scientists use to argue that the world is around 4.5 billion years old. So in this chapter, we're going to learn more about radiometric dating and why it is not a reliable method of determining the age of the Earth. So what is radiometric dating? Radiometric dating is also a method of determining the age of the Earth by looking at certain kinds of atoms that are unstable and decay over time into another element. So the original element is called the parent element, and the resulting element after the decay is called the daughter element. So therefore, scientists observe a rock sample and measure how much of daughter element is still left in the rock sample. By also determining the decay rate, scientists are arguing that they are able to estimate the age of rock samples. The issue with this dating method is that it does not give an absolute answer, but only tries to find the estimate of how old a rock sample is by combining present observations and assumptions about historical events. So if even one of the assumptions about the historical events are not true, then that will greatly affect the estimates of how old a rock sample actually is. So a team of 8 research scientists known as RATE went on an investigation to check the assumptions. The assumptions about historical events used in radiometric dating by measuring the age of a known rock sample. So the scientists already knew how old the rock was because they collected that rock from a recent volcanic eruption that happened 70 years ago. But they found out that the rock was indicated to be millions of years old when they checked it through radiometric dating. So in fact, it seems like radioactive decay supports a young Earth because the RATE group has gathered evidence that at some time in history, nuclear decay was greatly accelerated, and therefore the results may seem like the rock sample was millions of years old when it's actually just a few thousand years old. This is why the RATE group came up with this new idea of accelerated decay, because some rock samples that should no longer have helium on them based on their age of millions of years still have an abundant amount of helium in them. Therefore, they assumed that helium was being produced faster than it could have escaped out of the rock sample at some point in history. Basically, they're claiming that the rate of decay could have changed throughout history, and this could be the reason why some rocks seem like they're millions of years old when they actually are not. So what is the conclusion? The conclusion is that we Christians should trust in the Bible when it comes to history instead of science, which is based upon several assumptions for it to be true. The Word of God is infallible and true. Therefore, we should not let our belief of the Bible be dependent on science, but let science be dependent on our belief of the Bible.